Test. All right, let's get started. My dog's eating in the background. I hope it's not too loud. So our next challenge from edabit.com. We're still on the easy level. Greatest common divisor. Create a function that takes an array of two numbers and returns their greatest common divisor. So we're fed 60 and 24, we want 12. 110, we want 10. 124, we want 4. This is a real mathy one. I think it's my first, I don't know what I would call mathy one. I don't know if that makes any sense. So anyway, let's look at the test to see specifically what they're giving us. So they're giving us an array of two numbers. All right, so array equals, let's do 5 and 10. Now, the greatest would be if one of them can go into the other. Like 5 and 10, the greatest would be 5. How should we do this? Kind of pulling a blank right now. How to attack this? So basically, the best case scenario, if one can go into the other. So array of 1 divided by array index 0. And if that's basically an integer, that means we have, what does that mean? That means that the greatest common denominator is the first index, so 5. Not first index, 0 index, so 5. That would be this test. So if this equals an integer, so is there an isInteger function? I think there is. JavaScript isInteger. Number.isInteger. Okay. I'm not convinced this is going to be our best way, but it's a good excuse to learn isInteger, I guess. So not number. What's our number here? Oh, so, okay, so whatever. Can I just, oh, I can do this, I bet. Maybe parentheses around both. So basically, take array at index 1 divided by array at index 2, and dot is integer. Or what was that function? Is integer with the capital I. I think that's called camel code. When you do the humps like that with the capitals. So hopefully we're going to see true in our console. Nope. I know. Dot is integer is not a function. It's not. Looks like one. Oh, you do have to use number dot is integer. Okay. Weird. I've never seen like the number family of objects or whatever. In that, in that case, we need number dot is integer, and then in the argument, we got to put what we want. And one more parentheses, and hopefully we'll see true. Oh my God, yes, true. So what does this tell us? In this case, this is just good for one case though, but it's this tells us that array of 0 or 5 is going to be our greatest. Is that helpful? You know what? Maybe just a for loop goes, yeah. I think maybe just a for loop. This is a tough one. I mean, I say that about all of them. Let's try a for loop. But at least we learned number dot is integer, right? All right, for oh, we want the math, or we want the max. So anyway, let's start const. I don't like using const. It always throws that error to me in the console of trying to change it when I use const. So I know global is super risky, but if it's just one function, like what's gonna happen? So for x equals 0, and then what do we want to count up to? The max of our r. Can we do that? First, let me side check if I can even do that. Math.max of r. Get rid of this. Not a number. What if we use the triple dot? Yep. So I think that triple dot is, you know what? I tried researching it yesterday and I failed. So I know it helps with math functions to use an array, especially max and min. So I'm just going to use it for now and not do a deep dive. Sorry. So, all right. So that's the format for math.max. Let's go back to what we had. So basically, I want a for loop that counts from 0 to the top number, and then every iteration x plus plus. So oh shoot, we can't divide by 0. So we got to start at 1, huh? Or we'll get an error. And I'm frozen. Computer froze up. It looks like it's just this screen though. So let me hit refresh. We might lose this, but we can recreate it. It was just the hint of dividing by 0, and it was like no. I think we're still good on the stream. Oh, page unresponsive. Wait. Okay, let me exit out and come back. Sorry. Oh, sweet. Our work is saved. All right. So we have a for loop that's counting from, oh my God, it froze again. What is it? Why would it do that? Wow, that's bizarre. Does it not like this for loop? I'm gonna refresh this whole page just to make sure, like, why would I put that bracket there? Is it gonna freak out? Let's see. Yeah, freezes up the whole thing. That sucks. I mean, I guess I could use a different editor, but I really like this one. All right, let's try x equals 1. Maybe if we change it up a little, it'll not freak out. And we'll change it to I. I know I'm being stupid, but. And is this a legal function that I'm... Oh, I didn't set I equal to anything. Do I have to in a for loop? For loop JavaScript. So for I equals 0, I is less than. Okay, yeah, I'm forgetting my conditional statement, basically. So I want I less than or equal, right? Yeah. And then I plus plus plus. Okay, so this should be counting from 1 to whatever the maximum number in your array is. And that's what I want. And now don't freak out when I press enter. Sweet. Okay, we're good. All right, so first I want array at index 0 to be divided by I. And oh, you know what? It would make more sense to count down. To try our maximum numbers and then count down from there. And as soon as we get, yeah, that's what I want to do. So I want to change my for loop. I want to try the highest numbers first. And then I minus minus. Cool, let's do that. Yeah, so I'm gonna change this to I equals froze up. Froze up again. I can't get a break. This for loop is so what's the word? Finicky? Is it always like this with this for loop? Okay, so x equals math or number dot max triple dot array. So that's where I'm starting my for loop. And then I'm ending it when x is, well, I need x to be greater than 0 for the for loop to continue. So that's going to be true for most of it. And then every iteration, x minus minus. I think that's good. Let's go ahead and console.log x to see what numbers number.max is not a function. Was it math.max? Yep. Okay, so look at our console, and when we have the array of 5 and 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's exactly what we want. So now we can actually do some work if it doesn't freak out. Please don't freak out. All right. So array of 0 if array of, so here, maybe I'll describe what I want to do before doing it. So right now I'm using the biggest number for my array. If I take that number and I take index 0 and I divide it by that number, the maximum number. If that's an integer, it means it was a denominator. If I take the next number and that also the result is an integer, that means they're both that's both a common denominator to those. So and that would be the maximum number. So that's what I want to return from this function. So if r of index 0 divided by x, if that's an integer, and then for integer, you remember the function is number dot is integer, and then what your argument is. So if that's true, let me get rid of this. Oh, you do need the parentheses, but array of, yeah, I need the parentheses here. Okay, if that's true, that's good, but that's only half of what we need to be true. The other half of what we need to be true is end number dot is integer array at index 1 is also divisible, divisible, I guess, by our x. Divided by x. Let's console.log just to see. Let's console.log x. Oh shoot, we got it. Nice. So check out our console. It spits back 5, which is the answer. And then it also spits back 1 because our for loop is continuing to run and testing that if statement every time. So yeah, it's going to print out all of them. But when we design our function, which we'll do in a second, we're going to return the 5, and then it'll end that for loop. So we don't have to worry about it, the other answers. Okay, so despite the technical difficulties, we got somewhere. And let's test it. So if we change our array to be 110, we want the answer 10. So, yep. The first thing to be returned is that 10. So the only thing we didn't program this function, well, it's not a function, the algorithm right now for is 0, 0. So let's try, before we even do that, let's try to guess at what's going to happen. You know what? It's going to spit back. So number.isInteger array at index 0 is going to be 0 divided by x, which we might get a divide by 0 error because x might be 0 because math.max right here when it's setting math.max, it's going to be 0. So x equals 0. So yeah, let's see what happens. It's going to be an error though, I think. So nothing's printed out in our console. What does the challenge want to happen though when we got 0? It wants to spit back 0. So I think that's the only special case we have. For if, so right before this if statement, I'm just gonna add an if statement. If how do I say if in array there is a 0? If 0 is in, I need like is in array. Is in array, JavaScript. Dot includes. And that returns true or false. Okay, cool. So let's test that out. Let's go up here to test it out. So this is just like a side little thing to test out. Dot includes array dot. So we'll say 5, 0 dot includes 0. And if I console.log this, hopefully it'll say true. No. Oh, I forgot a parentheses. Did I? No. Includes 2. That looks to be right. Array1 dot includes 2. Output true. Okay, should I change it? Let me move this up here, our array, and then I'll use, instead of a direct input like that, I'll just say array. Array dot include 0. Why doesn't that work? Why doesn't that work? Isn't that exactly the same thing? That is frustrating. Should I use magical semicolons? Or is this below? Let me comment this out just to make sure it's not screwing up anything on my console. So, okay, yeah, so that was just screwing up. I gotta remember to comment out my code when I'm doing like a side quest. So if you look at our console, that's true. And I bet if we put direct in here, it'll still be true. Yeah, so true. And then if we change it to 1, hopefully false. Yeah. Okay. Side quest over. And let's go back to, so we're making an if statement in case there's a 0, because if it's a 0, we just want to return. If we have 0, if we have 2 zeros, it's 0. If we have 0 and another number, it's still just 0, right? I think it's still 0, because there's not going to be any common divisor. And saying 0 is misleading because you're not, that's not a common divisor. But whatever, that's what the challenge wants, so it's what they'll get. So if array dot includes 0, I'll just say console.log 0, but we're going to change this in a second. So what are my errors here? Oh, I always forget parentheses because I'm coming from Python. Did I use a 0 or an O? That looks suspiciously like an O. Okay. I think we might be good. Let's go ahead and play around. Yeah. No common divisor there? What? Those numbers are so big. Uh-oh. There's got to be a higher common denominator than that, right? Than those two big-ass numbers? What's going on here? What's going on here? Or do I just suck at math and that's how math works? Maybe. I would assume huge numbers like that, there'd be bigger common denominators. But I think we're still good. Yeah. Okay, let's change all our work. Let's comment it out and change it all. That didn't work. And change it all into a function. So this is how they want their function to look. Your code here. And usually I like just writing it out and not copy and pasting, but this one's a little long and there are some technical difficulties and I wasted some of your time, so I'm going to copy and paste and then show you what needs to be modified. So we're going from a non-function, I guess, I don't know what you really call that, but a block of code that is not a function, to modifying it into a function. So most everything is going to stay the same, except we're going to return things instead of outputting them to the console. Return X. And then let me go ahead and delete our work up there. So we can see this all nice. Let me check that these brackets are somewhat coherent. All right, final test. We're going to call our function GCD. Let's give it the array 10 and 20, and we're going to want the answer 10 to be displayed. And nope, I don't see it. GCD 1020 return X. Did I call the function right? I think so, just the name and then the argument. Oh, I didn't use the argument, right? Okay. Yeah, you need the parentheses. Yay, 10. I think we're good. I'm sure there's a more elegant solution, and I'll be interested to see as soon as we check out the top submitted answer. But it works. Now that we wrote it out, is there any way to make it nicer? I don't know. I kind of like it. Let's submit it and then we'll look at some other answers. And it's good that I practice for loops because I always avoid them. That was weird though, that it constantly freezing up play code when I was trying to do that for loop. Okay, so we failed on the very first test. Expected 0 instead got undefined. So when it inputted an array of 0, 0, it wants to get back 0, and we got back undefined. How is that possible with this statement right here? If array.include 0, return 0. Let's see when we play with it here. So putting in 0, 0, we want 0. And yeah, our console.log is not showing anything. So at least it's consistent. So let's see what's going on. So x equals math.max. Oh, that's it. So this for loop isn't executing because it can't. It's not even executing. So this if statement is never being executed. So we need to move this if statement outside of the for loop and before it. And then I think we're good. Just to make it a little more readable. All right, let's try that. God, Edabit has been slow lately. We passed. All right, submit. That was kind of hard. It was mathy. So I don't know. It's hard. All right, solutions. I bet there's a nice one-liner. What? Why is mine on top? There's no way. Mine's the best. So they just, this is dangerous for the Edabit community. So they're just putting mine on top because nobody else voted on any of them, and I have the most experience, which is also frightening. So let's go ahead and look if somebody has a good solution. Let's go to the shortest code. Okay, function GCD AB if B is equal to 0, return A. That's not even correct. That's not even correct. Anyway, let's go on. I don't think that's correct. Like, if you had 10 and 0, the common denominator is not 0. You don't have a common denominator. I think. I'm not like a math, whatever. So let's move on. Else, return the function. Oh, is this some recursive crap? Oh God, are you serious? B, A% B, A modulus B. So let's try it. Let's pretend that A is 5 and B is 10. So no zeros, or B isn't equal to 0, so we go to the else. 10, and then we recursively call the function 10 and 5 modulus 5 modulus 10. What is that going to be? I mean, it doesn't even divide by it. What is that going to be? Should I try it? Can I Google that? 5 modulus 10 is what we want, I think. Five modulus 10 is 5. That hurts my brain. I don't really see why. But that's fine. Let's assume that Google is right. 5 modulus 10 is 5. So we have 10 and 5 that we call the function with again, right? I do not understand this function one bit at all. So I'm gonna quit there. And I don't necessarily agree with this first statement. Let's Google that real quick. Common denominator if you have 0. If 0, or of 0. Okay. Because 0 times anything is 0. The only multiple that, say, 0 and 5 have in common is 0. Thus, if the least common multiple of 0 and 5 exists at all, it must be 0. We do not count 0 as a common multiple. Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't know if this is like an official source. Ask Dr. Math. But to me, that seems like if you have 0, you don't have a least common denominator. So I'm not going to screw around with this function too much because I don't even think it's correct. Sorry, employee 427. All right, so we'll stick with this one. Usually there's some real nice ones. Maybe people haven't done that much JavaScript challenges on Edabit. Like the Python ones, like so many votes and upvotes. All right, one more. Detect browser from user agent. Are we still on easy? Yes. You need to detect the browser used by your client to show some part of your site for specifics browser. Okay. Your objective: create a function that takes a string and return the browser name. Okay, so this one we're probably gonna have to just look at the examples the most. Let's take a peek at the test too. So that first one's too long for me to read. And I can't really make sense of this one. Let's take a look at the examples. I'm going to paste them up above. And they're freaking long. So let me, I'm going to return statement them. Okay, so they're giving us this long string, and from it we need to output Google Chrome. I guess because right here it says Chrome. Second example, this long string, and they want us to output Mozilla Firefox. Where does it say Firefox? Right here. Okay. So if the string has the word Chrome, output Google Chrome. If it has the word Firefox, output Mozilla Firefox. And where's the keyword for Internet Explorer? I don't. There's some missing information here. What is common to, what would commonly be found in each string of Internet Explorer? That's not information I just know from life or whatever. Okay, should we try copy and pasting these tests? It's gonna look like absolute nonsense, but that was a mistake. Let me get us back. Okay, let's just start with the first one, and then maybe we'll do if else, and then just else statement for Internet Explorer. That might be the easiest. If it doesn't have like a keyword we can go off of. So anyway, our string is equal to this. Oh God, are we gonna have to escape character like crazy everything? Oh shoot, sorry. So we're escaping characters, the quotes, and the parentheses, I guess. This is good. Can you not escape character or parentheses? Oh, it was just because it wasn't on the same line. But I think there's a trick. I think we can triple dot to say continued. Is that right? Continue a line. Continue a line in JavaScript. Oh, you just enter, right? I thought you just enter. Oh, it does, because the parentheses. I think there's something weird happens when it's parentheses? Huh. Okay, I'm gonna... I don't know. I don't know why that's not working. Usually you can just press enter and it knows. So let's end our string. Unexpected token. Can we not escape character that first quote, double quote? Why not? Escape character, double quote, JavaScript. Maybe if I single quote it and then escape a double quote. You always put it before, right? Unclosed string. Okay, so the error isn't there, it's here. So let's escape this last quote and then add a single quote. Okay, we're good. we successfully declared a string or assigned a string. So was that the challenge? No. All right, so let's use our include function we just learned. String dot includes, what was it? Chrome? Chrome. Let's just see, let's console.log that and see if it gives us true. Nice. Okay, so we could say something. I imagine just 3 like if statements to solve this challenge. So let's go ahead and try to do that. If the word Chrome is in a string, then return back Google Chrome. If Mozilla Firefox is in a string, return back Mozilla Firefox. If else, or because I don't see any keywords there in that final string, unless we said like Trident, I guess. That seems unique to Internet Explorer. So we could actually do that. We could do like Trident. So if string dot includes Chrome, if that's true, then return the string Google Chrome. No, I'm going to console.log this first, and then change it to our function after. Nice. So right now it's outputting Google Chrome. So I don't think we need like if else. We just ifs. But we'll see. String dot includes Firefox. Console.log Mozilla Firefox. And then finally, if string dot includes, should we go with Trident? I think that's unique, at least in the examples above, in this word right here. Return, oh no, sorry, console.log Internet Explorer. This is going to be a nightmare when I try to test this out. All right, so right now it's working for the first example. So, okay, so let's test our second example. This Mozilla Firefox. And it worked. Why is it twice there? Yeah, just once. Okay, let's test out our third example, and then we'll change this into a function. And it worked. So this now works for all of the examples, but God knows if it's going to work for all the test cases. But let's change it into a function. Return Edabit, what? And I'm not going to type this all out again. I'm going to copy and paste. But all we're going to modify is that console.log statement. And then we'll just indent it to make it a little prettier. So yeah, console. We don't want a console.log. We want to return. Okay, let's invoke our function, or call our function. We're not going to get the Ouija board out, I guess. Detect browser string. And for that example, our string right now is this one, and it's working. So the console says Internet Explorer. And this will be a leap of faith to see if this actually works for all these test cases. Okay, so our variable we assumed was going to be string, but it's not. It's called user agent. So we have to change all our strings to user agent. Expected Internet Explorer. So it's failing on all. So it failed on all Internet Explorer tests, almost all. So let's find a better keyword for Internet Explorer than Trident. I can't even read this code. This challenge is not my favorite. And then down here, like, what the fuck is going on? All right, let's go back to this final example. So what keyword can we use that's not in any other? You know what? Instead of trying to do that, let's just do if, else if, and then else. Because I don't think they're going to try to trick us up with like a null. Are they going to give us like a null test? I don't think so. So let's do that. So basically, so our first if, that's fine. And then what is it? Else if. And then here just else. Else if, else. Oh, we don't, so if we're doing an else statement, we don't have a conditional statement. It's just do this code regardless. So that's kind of cool. Please work. Please work. Yes, I was so done with this challenge. Where's the rating for just like weird and sloppy, kind of? Just kidding. It's not that bad, I guess. I don't know. I didn't like it. What is this? This one-liner should not count as a one-liner. It's too long. So somebody liked it though. Somebody upvoted it. That's too long to be a one-liner. Okay, let's see. Wow, everybody's using this, what is this called? This question mark? It's like a stand-in for if else. Everybody likes that a lot. I don't think anyone did anything too crazy or different than what we did, so it's not really worth doing. Everybody seems to use the include function. So yeah, so we'll call it there. Thanks. See you guys next time.